coming to union?
That's actually the first job I had as a safety director.
Did you have a budget? Was there a safety budget?
Well, no, there was never a safety budget.
Did you have assistants?
No, there was no assistance. I was it.
As the safety director, did you have the authority to stop production?
No.
No matter what?
Well, if somebody was caught in the machine, I could shut it off.
So you have no budget, you have no staff, you have no authority. How can you possibly be effective then as a safety director?
It's difficult.
The company has assured us they are committed to workplace safety and produced statistics that show a decline in injuries in recent years, a claim that is, however, viewed cautiously in Washington. Even with a strongly pro-business agenda in the U.S. Capitol now, the McWane record on safety has raised eyebrows in the Bush administration. OSHA, a branch of the Labor Department, has a new boss, John Henshaw.
McWane has had 595 violations, and we've had over 111 inspections of those facilities. So clearly they have a serious record with us, and we need to do something different. We worked out an arrangement with them. They've agreed to this. We are going to inspect 5 of their facilities to our choosing and do a wall-to-wall inspection of those 5 facilities. Because my only concern is that they get the message, that they turn themselves around and manage that company more appropriately. And fatalities are not accepted practice. Injuries and illnesses and amputations are not accepted practice.
Shortly after that interview, another accident at the Tyler Foundry in Texas. A worker was pinned by a truck. The accident happened October 29th, in the middle of an OSHA inspection. Doctors fought for days to save Guadalupe Garcia's life. His pelvis and his legs were crushed. It took hundreds of pints of blood to keep him alive. A week after the accident, they had to amputate both legs. Another family devastated. Another worker trying to earn a living who lost a precious piece of life. In Quebec, an hour east of Montreal on the historic Richelieu River, the village of Saint-Ours. In the mid-90s, the company that owned 3 Quebec iron foundries was providing some feisty competition for McWane, so 5 years ago, McWane bought them out. Now their own records indicate, even though there have been no deaths here, the distinction of being McWane's most accident-prone plant anywhere belongs to the La Perle Foundry in Saint-Ours. By now it's a familiar story. Since the 70s, McWane have been expanding aggressively, buying up old plants, spending some money on them, then cranking up profitability by what they call disciplined management practices. We're told that in some ways they've actually improved the 3 old foundries in Quebec. But the old-fashioned corporate philosophy and its emphasis on productivity can create pressures which force workers to choose between job security and personal safety. An internal company safety inspection, prompted by criticism and renewed scrutiny in the U.S., recently turned up 180 safety hazards. We know the company is spending money on a safety improvement program. We're told that it includes installing guards on conveyors, like these, secretly videotaped recently by La Perle workers. But we wanted an independent opinion on the improvements, so we took the video to the Quebec safety regulator. The CSST monitors health and safety in the workplace. CSST inspectors have visited the La Perle plant 8 times in the last 3 years. But when we asked spokesman Daniel Legault to comment on the video, he declined.
Et il faut voir à ce moment-là quelle est l'organisation du travail. Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui sont tout près? Là, moi, on a vu, j'ai vu quelque chose, il faudrait voir l'organisation concrète du travail. Est-ce que les gens travaillent autour? Qu'est-ce qu'ils font?
Your inspector's been in 8 times, you've said. 8 times he's been in there. He's walking by these conveyor belts that have no guards on them.
Attention, c'est pas nous, la responsabilité première, là, c'est pas nous à voir partout tout ce qui se passe dans toutes les entreprises du Québec. Là, on n'a pas cette responsabilité-là. Là. C'est le milieu de travail, l'employeur, la responsabilité de mettre en place des conditions de travail qui protègent la santé et la sécurité de ses travailleurs.
We showed the video to a former employee who is so afraid of possible reprisals by the company, he'd only speak to us in a total disguise, with his voice altered.
There are many locations at the Lapel Foundry where there are no guards or it's very dangerous.
He said unguarded conveyor belts were commonplace.
Not just the conveyors. There are many places where it wouldn't take much to make improvements. The shop, the workplace, but they don't do it. It goes in one ear and out the other.
Why did you eventually leave the Lapel Foundry?
I had enough of working under these conditions, and nothing was happening to improve them. There are many more important things in life than just working for money. Working like a slave, and the union is powerless. The company is too strong.
Just over a year ago, it looked like the union would get a chance to confront McWane in contract talks. But early in negotiations, McWane locked them out. The workers spent 7 months on the outside looking in while the plant operated with non-union employees, a violation of Quebec's anti-scab law, according to a Labour Ministry investigation. The union president is Jean Saint-Germain of the United Steelworkers. The lockout was painful, but he thinks his workers sent a strong message to McWane.
Ils ont compris que si les gars restaient dehors, c'est à cause justement des conditions de travail qu'on avait eues avant. Puis on ne vient plus revivre ça.
While the company is now trying to improve safety at Le Pearl, there's an underlying problem. To increase production, they hired an extra shift. Mostly young, inexperienced workers whom they've not properly trained, according to union officials.
Puis ils ont refusé ça complètement. Parce que ça, ce qu'ils voient là-dedans, c'est que le training, celui qui donne le training, il ne travaille pas. Il ne t'adhère pas ça. C'est le gros problème.
I thought labor law in Quebec required training in jobs like that.
La compagnie McWane est au-dessus des lois québécoises.
Oui, c'est ça. À l'article 51 de notre loi, effectivement, l'employeur a l'obligation de donner une formation adéquate.
But I'm told they're not. I'm told that particularly at Le Pearl, where they put a whole extra shift on, they took a lot of young people in and gave them virtually no training, and that this is where most of the injuries are coming from. I mean, does that concern you?
Si la formation est inadéquate, à ce moment-là, on va intervenir. Ça, c'est sûr. On ne laissera pas tomber les travailleurs.
When we come back, private fears and public silence. You were considering whether or not you wanted to talk to me. I hear you. Bye.
And now we return to the Fifth Estate and a special inquiry with the New York Times and PBS Frontline.
Okay. Pipes, part of the infrastructure of civilization. Communities grow, but the hidden networks of pipe grow first. Pipes to deliver water, to remove waste. And with the pipes, an assortment of connectors, valves, fire hydrants. In the past decade, the McWane Corporation of Birmingham, Alabama, or as they're known here, Canada Pipe, have seized the lion's share of the Canadian market for many of these products. And now they're facing new complaints from Canada's Competition Police for buying and bullying competitors, coercing customers into loyalty commitments. Now, 10 years after these parking lot meetings and all these
Yes.
cloak and dagger stuff,
Indeed.
McWane's have increased their presence in the Canadian market. It seems that in 10 years, the leopard really hasn't changed its spots.
Whether the leopard has changed its spots or has transmuted itself into another kind of critter, I don't know.
The allegations have to do with absorbing or otherwise eliminating competition.
This is the concern we have at the end of the day, if and when these activities might drive other potential or real competitors out of the marketplace, then Canada Pipe or any other similarly situated company would, of course, be in a harvest mode at that stage. They're the only player. They can raise prices unrestrained by competition.
Canadian competition boils down to a handful of companies like Van Damme Industries of Cambridge, Ontario.